bowing exercise. Walk, wait, wait. Then we move it to dancing. Oh, now the bowing exercise. Wait. So they're always making their own music using the notes that they can play. And as they learn more notes on the instruments, so they make longer tunes on the board. And then you can use any other music that you want.
There are quite a few people who are very interested in what you're saying. May I suggest?
I can see a lot of you are very interested in what Ruth is having to say. If any of you have a question, please feel free to ask her. And you know, I know she's told you an awful lot today, and there are probably questions that you might have. Please don't feel afraid to ask her. Pauline, of course, can help you with any of the technicalities of the certification and the LCM aspect of it. But if you have a question, please feel free, ask her now, and she'll answer over the microphone, then you can all hear.
I'll just say out loud what I was saying down here. The question was, what about if I'm teaching the violin? Something like that. You would introduce Stave House immediately, the very first lesson. So with my violin students, I would introduce them to Here is a house with 4 rooms. We would do the story. I would then focus on Elaine the elephant. And the child would put Elaine on the board and I would teach them the E string. And they would play, look at me playing E, perhaps. I would then put Amos on the board and we would find the A string. Then we might do E and A, or A and E. And then I would either introduce them to Dunstan, so they had a D string, or I might introduce them to Father Crotchet. Then I can show them a little piece of standard music. Oh look, here's Father Crotchet, let's clap this pattern. Whose room is he in? Elaine's room. We can play that on the violin. So as you meet a new note on the instrument, you do the board work, you talk about the story, you talk about the note. They make their own little piece of sight reading every week, including that new note. But you can use any music tutors that you like to back up the learning. With a small child, I would do 20 minutes on the board and 10 minutes on the violin. And then I would gradually increase the length on the violin or on the piano. With the piano, I introduce D first, then D and C searcher. Then Father Crotchet, Mother Minim, Uncle Semibrieve, D's and C's. Then E for easy, standing on the bottom line. And we play D and C and E, and we make tunes. With the recorder, I would teach them Here is a house, then I would introduce B very quickly, so that they can play the note B, then Amos the ant, then Celia. So whichever instrument you're using, you bring in the characters for the first 3 notes that they're going to play. And you don't give them music that's too complicated for their age. You only find music that suits their understanding. Okay, so even if that means writing it out yourself a little bit, but there are lots of tutors that go very carefully, we talk about that on the training, which are, you know, useful tutor books to have. But really you can use anything, because this system is to teach the children to work out the counting and the notes. So you just don't rush it. And we never show them anything by memory. We never say, look at me, do this. We always ask the child to clap it, to read it, to sing it perhaps, then play it. But we don't show them how to do it. Because once you've shown them how to do it, they won't be wanting to work it out. You will have taken away from them the thinking process. You must teach them the thinking process, and it's crucial. Okay, so, but just any music tutors you want, you just use the stories to go with it. Are there any other questions? You wanted to come and talk to them about the teacher's diploma. Oh, you want me to talk about it? Okay, so yes. If you do the training course, there is an early learning teaching diploma that you can attain with Stave House. You don't get that by attending the training course. You have to go away and teach Stave House for at least 3 months so that you have experience for your diploma. Because the diploma is about your ability to teach, and you cannot do a course and take a diploma because no one knows what you're like at teaching it. So you can do the course. When you've done the course, you can start teaching Stave House. You can begin to feel your way with doing it. How's it working with your children? And then you can think, yes, actually, this is going really well. I would like the diploma qualification, because the diploma qualification will then also allow you perhaps to apply to become an assessor for the awards down in the future. You might want to apply to become a trainer in your local area. So there's a progression, but you would need the diploma to do that. So your diploma comes after you need to attend the training. You would then need to go away and practice. Your students would have their materials, their boards, you would have yours, you would be teaching, and you would need to really get a feel of what you were doing and video yourself teaching. You can enter for the diploma, which has a 20-minute video of you teaching, and then on the day, a presentation. It's all practical. The whole thing is a practical exam, because we need to see your communication, your storytelling, your creativity. It's all about communication. It's not about sitting a paper. Because Stave House is about loving the subject and being communicative. So, training course, 3 months teaching at least, but a good 3 months. Then, yes, by all means, you can think, I think I'm ready to look at the diploma. You can take the diploma. If you take the diploma, you can take it in your local centres. You can apply. Pauline is the director of LCM, and she is the person that you send your entries to. She will deal with that for you and tell you where you can take your diploma. And after the diploma, they can then go on to apply for the trainers sort of training, and also to become an assessor. We're also going to have a meet for, we want Stave House teachers to be able to talk to each other, to meet together. So we have next year planned a Stave House meet in KL in the spring, where you'll be able to meet some people who have already been teaching Stave House for a while. How is that going? Sharing their experiences. I shall be bringing perhaps some new material. We will always be talking to you about the latest developments with Stave House, and there are also other meets planned for the future.
Is there any other questions?
Any questions?
Yes. If there's any other questions.
มีคำถามอีกไหมคะ เมื่อกี้อาจารย์พูดเกี่ยวกับเรื่องถ้าจะสอบเป็นใบประกาศนียบัตรนะคะก็คือหลังจากเทรนแล้วเสร็จปุ๊บก็ต้องไปลองสอนอย่างน้อย3 เดือนพอ3 เดือนเนี่ยคิดว่าตัวเองพร้อมแล้วนะคะก็อัดวิดีโอที่ตัวเองสอนใน20 นาทีใช่ไหม20 นาทีนะคะเพราะว่าอันนี้มันเป็นได้ยินไหมคะมันเป็นเหมือนให้ไม่ใช่เป็นการมาเรียนแล้วก็เขียนแล้วก็สอบใบประกาศนะคะคือมันเป็นคอร์สที่ต้องใช้